All right. It's an area that all these technology companies, and y'all are no stranger to these, right? These, if not all of them, look familiar to you. And you know that there's big money funding a lot of these companies, but that doesn't always mean that the technology platforms are the same. In fact, they're very, very different. And most of them are not any good. The main factor that differentiates booj, our product, BOOJ, is that it is 100% focused on the relationship. And I know that you guys hear that all the time, relationships, 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 but truly that's what this product was designed to do. So this is why Remax bought booj. Yes, it does belong to us, which I think is a really cool thing too. And you guys have heard about this for probably 18 months or longer. When we bought the entire program, we brought all the people who developed it with us. So now they are a part of Remax's tech team, and they're the people who helped train us while we were gone in Denver. So through that acquisition, we gained a lot of knowledge and experience. Booj has been around for about 12 years. And I think that's important to note too. This isn't a startup. This isn't something that we're just taking a chance on. This has proven results. They've spent a lot of time in independent, smaller brokerages to kind of get their feet wet and kind of work out the kinks of the system before Remax bought it. And so with booj, this slide, what we're illustrating here, it's not just, here we go, we're going to launch the product, yay, have fun. Okay, it is a continuous product that's going to be developed over time. So if there's something that you love about it, talk about it. If there's something that you hate about it, talk about it. It's still going to be developed. It's still going to be enhanced, all based on the feedback that we're going to give them. And that's how it's been developed up until now. So delivery of the product, that's happening today, right? So engagement, feedback, all of that's going to come up. They're going to gain that insight and then bring it all the way back through the form of enhancement. So long after today, it's going to continue to evolve, which I think is awesome, because the more we use it, the more acquainted we get with it, the more we see what we like, what we don't like, they're going to make those changes for us. And even when we were in Denver training on it, we were saying, hey, it'd be great if it would do this, or it'd be awesome if we could do this with it. And they're like, okay, we're going to take that back to the team. So because we have the product and because we have the developers, we have the control on how it's going to interact with us and for us. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so here's what the timeline looks like. I think this is important. So some of you guys may have been some beta testers or even some alpha testers in this room over the last 18 months. Was anybody a tester? Anybody? I know Charity was. Okay. Wow. All right, so we had testers, and what that means is people who were in it providing feedback. So we've done that part. Phase 1 is what's launching right now. So Texas, it's rolling out today. Other areas of the country, it's already rolled out beginning in August. And the feedback has been good. And so through now till the end of the year, probably November-ish, November, December, phase 2 is going to launch. And then there's going to be continued releases with new features coming on board. So I want you guys to think of phase 1, which is what we're doing right now, as more of an introduction to the product. It's just to where we can get it set up the right way and build that foundation so that it will do what we need it to do moving forward. Okay? So phase 1, what does that look like? The video, I think, did a good job of kind of highlighting a lot of these things, but you're going to have what we call a deal manager, which is really cool. It's also fully integrated with .loop, DocuSign. They're working on ZipLogic. There's future integrations that are coming in terms of just an overview of a transaction manager, which I think is really cool. We don't know how that's going to play in yet with Backagent, but we're working on that, and we're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. Again, this is where your website's going to live. There are 5 templates that you guys are going to get to choose from, and then after that, you can absolutely customize every single block on that site. A big complaint over the last few years, or probably longer than that, has been the just underwhelm of the agent website. And it's not easy to find you guys. It hasn't been easy to find you guys. You have to go into Remax and search, and you may land on it, you may not. That all changes. Remax.com is going to get a full relaunch about November, so phase 2. Remax.com is going to be fully powered by booj, and it's going to give you guys a lot more. It's going to make it a lot easier for the consumer to find you guys too, which is just different. CRM. Anybody want to take a guess at what CRM stands for? Yes. Anybody in here using a CRM right now?
Can that go away?
Yeah.
I'm using. So I'll be able to take everything out of mine and put it in.
100%. What are you using?
Top producer.
Producer. Okay. Top producer here too. Yeah. So yes, booj is designed to take the place of whatever you're using and hopefully save you some money too.
Yeah,
These things are not cheap.
if there was a charge.
Yes, and I'm glad you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
There is no fee. So this comes with being a part of Remax because you guys are affiliate. This is something that Remax is saying here, use as part of that fee that you guys pay every year. Okay, website editor. That is live. That's a feature that you guys can get into now. The sites aren't going to launch, but it'll give you some time to really play with it and get it just right. So when November comes and they go live, you're good to go. You won't have to go back and make any changes. You can make them all right now. Reporting and analytics. This is huge. It gives you a ton of insight onto how you're reaching the people in your contact list or your leads list. You'll be able to add people into your database, either classified as a lead or a contact. A contact is somebody that I kind of feel like is a friend, a family member, somebody that you have an existing relationship with, whereas a lead is something that maybe comes in third party, or you get from call time, or you get from wherever else. You can always change the status of the person in there. So say maybe they start as a lead, and then over time you develop this fantastic relationship, and now they're a contact. You can make that distinction. You guys got to see a few of the features within the CRM, the tags. I think you guys probably saw that. They spent a little bit on that. Tags, you can pick any tag you want, unlimited tags. So if you know in your mind how somebody fits into your network and they need 6 tags because they fit into all 6 of those categories, you can do that, which I think is nice because you can filter your whole list by tag. We use, as a company, a CRM called Contactually. And the tags are one of my favorite features because it keeps me organized. And if I know where I met that person from, but I can't remember their name, I can search by that place and there they are. That's kind of how a tag works. Lead and sphere scoring, we talked about that already. That is amazing. It will update constantly. So it'll give you a good glimpse into who's interacting with you, maybe who's not, maybe who was but isn't anymore, which should prompt you to make a phone call. Lead generation, these tools are coming. These are phase 2. The mobile CRM, so booj, there's a desktop version, and there's also a mobile app version. So it goes go. You won't lose any of the functionality that way. Marketing, there's going to be there's emails from straight with the app. So if you're saying, and it can look like it comes from your Gmail.
Oh yeah,
And some links straight from that the booj app. So I think that's a cool thing. And then Stacey, you were asking about this social posting that's coming with phase 2. That social integration, you would just link, just like you have in Lead Street, your social network.
Oh, I know. I'm still working. Yeah.
This is again more of an introduction. This just shares with you guys what the phase for rollout has looked like across the country. It started in August, so these have been playing in it since then. We're right here, which is today. And then here's who's left in October. So that's why when we say November for the launch date, we want to make sure that everybody has had, or Remax wants to make sure that everybody has had enough time to get everything in there and build that foundation so that when all of the features become available, it's not, oh crap, what do I do? And then you're overwhelmed again. Okay, so again, we've talked about what phase 2 looks like. There's going to be a brand new CMA function that's coming. They couldn't really show us any mock-ups in Denver because it is still something that they're getting a lot of feedback on it. Because everybody kind of has their own preference on how they like a CMA to look. And I think it's good because they're not just rolling it out and then taking it back and saying, hang on, let's tweak it. They're really putting in the work. Your listing management will also live within booj, which is good. That's coming. Again, they're kind of figuring out how does that look? How does that work? How does that feel? The mobile search app, and then of course, remax.com. Gonna have a complete overhaul, which thank goodness, because it needs one so badly. Some of this is probably going to be a review for you guys. Right now, this is all of the agent technology that exists today. lead generating platform. So that's remax.com. It's the commercial site for Remax. It's luxury, it's global. Lead Street, I don't know if you guys were in here or not when I mentioned this, but this is going away by the end of the year. If you have contacts or leads within Lead Street, you need to export them all. You can do that over the course of the next couple of weeks, but just know, put that on your calendar, get them out of Lead Street, because when the lights go out, there's no getting them back. Okay.
When is it going away?
I'd say November, December, when phase 2 comes out, because there's not going to be a need for it after that. I would make that a goal, though, just so if you guys are curious, you want to have everything out of here by October 1st. Just make that a goal. That way you have a full month, and then you can have them all out. You can do little by little. Agent team websites, those exist today again, but they are going to be completely overhauled to where you can really put your own personal touches on it. Design Center. Anybody using Design Center in here? Yeah. Okay. So you guys have probably noticed quite a bit has changed in here too. I think for the better. In fact, 50% of what you guys see here on this list has changed or will change within the next 30 days. There's a big push from the mothership, as Charlie called it, to really fine tune some of this stuff. And I think it's time. Design Center is where all of your automated marketing materials come from when you have a new listing. You should be getting those in your inboxes. If you're not, please let me know. Usually 24 to 48 hours once you add a listing in Paragon and it goes live. Remax.net, that's your email address. It's also the thing that you use to log into Max Center to be able to access a lot of this fun stuff, which leads me to Max Center. Max Center is the hub. That's where Booj is going to live. There's a little tile when you log in that says Booj, and that's where you'll click on to go to the desktop version. Agent Portal, that has had a complete overhaul. You guys know how much of an issue it was to kind of go in, click on my account, and then it would redirect you, and then you're like, what? I'm not even trying to find anything in here. They've completely cleaned this up. Now when you log into Max Center, you'll see your picture in the top left-hand corner. You click it and everything's right there. So much better. Remax University. Anybody ever get in here and play around? Fantastic resource. There are videos upon videos. There's guides. There's handouts. You can get certifications through Remax University and any kind of designation that you may be after. All of that lives within here. They had a few people from Remax University come in and kind of share with us that you can earn badges or points based on how many videos you watch, and they look at it every month, and the person who has the most points, they send little prizes to. So I think that's kind of cool too. And then at the end of the year, whoever has the most points gets like a big prize. Referrals, that's the referral platform. So if you guys are trying to do a deal like in Wyoming and you obviously don't know Wyoming, that's where you would go to find somebody. It kind of looks like a social media platform in a way. They really kind of updated that too. But pay attention because sometimes referrals will be sent to you. It should notify you though, in and out of Max Center. Usually if you receive a referral, there's a green bar at the top when you log in. But just wanted to point that out to you guys. Shop Remax, that's where all the swag lives. Also signage, anything that you guys may need promotions wise. The cool thing about this right here is it's all of Remax approved suppliers. So you never have to question, is the balloon current? Is it the right logo? Am I within the brand standard? All of that has to go through these approval processes. So that's done for you. The mobile app that exists today, again, going to have a complete overhaul. The powerful thing with this is that it can be branded to you. So when a consumer clicks on it and you're sitting there, you can incorporate this in terms of your buyer conversation or even your listing conversation. Hey, download my app. You can send them a little text link before they click on it. It opens it up in the app store. And when they get it and they open it, it's your name at the top, which is very cool. That way, the more they interact with it and the more that they're like, no, I don't like that property, or yes, I love that property, or I want to send a message to learn more or have a showing for that property, and notify you. And they'll see you every time they open that app. That's going to stay the same with Booj as well, only there's going to be way more that the consumer can do to connect with you more easily. And you'll get to see which properties they hide. You'll get to see which properties they love. You'll get to see which ones that maybe they looked at another person's website. It'll prompt you and say, hey, your buyer over here was just on this website. Hey, you might want to call them, which is cool. So it's going to follow that consumer a lot more easily than it ever has before. Yeah. The URL shortener is probably one of my favorite things that we get to play with. URL shortener, you guys know, like when somebody sends you a link in your email and it's this long, you're not going to click on it. Because, I mean, it's scary. It could be a virus. It could be something terrible. Maybe it's not a link that you asked for. This right here, you can take that big long link, pop it into this little URL shortener, and it's going to spit out a branded, short, tiny URL that you can further customize. So when I send a video to someone and I don't want it to be drive.google/ a big series of numbers, I'll copy that link, put that in here, and then it starts with rem.ax/ and whatever the video is, say it's Mac Center, it'll say rem.ax/Mac Center. Awesome tool. And like with everything else, you can see when it was clicked on, if they clicked through, like if they took an action, when did they look at it? So you have some analytics in here as well. Yeah. Now? Hang on. Pause. Pause. Oh, I wonder if it's because it was.
Sorry. Good to know.
All right. Hold tight.
Look, the little button at the top, resume share.
I know. I've done it like 4 times though. Hang on. Let me do a new share. Hey, Zoomies. Is that better? Mm-hmm. I think we're good because we're green now. Okay. Anybody use the URL shortener? Anyone? Yeah? Yeah. Do y'all love it? I do too. Okay. Children's Miracle Network. That is really cool because you guys know, and y'all are amazing with your generous spirits. Every month, Melissa sends a report that shows how many of you guys are consistently donating to the Children's Miracle Network and also to Texas Sentinels. It's incredible. But if you want to see kind of a bird's eye view of overall global, that's what lives in there. So that information, as well as the office information on how we're contributing, which is really nice. Marketing portal. That's where a lot of social media covers live. So if you are wanting to kind of spruce up your Facebook pages, maybe you've got a business page or a personal page, or maybe you're more into Twitter or YouTube even, there's cover photos that you guys can use, and they change constantly. So for Halloween, they're about to come out with fall ones, and Christmas, and all sorts of little goodies. So I would highly encourage you guys to look in here from time to time. All the logos are in there as well. So maybe you need to get something embroidered and you're not sure which thing to use, or maybe you need the file to send to someone else. All of those logos are in here. Again, you don't have to question, am I using the current one? Am I using the one that was updated 2 minutes ago? Everything will be there. And then finally, I think probably the most powerful is eCare. It's not known as eCare anymore. It's support services. Ashley was just using it today. How was your experience?
Great.
Way better.
Yeah, there's chat.
There's a chat feature. So if you guys, yeah, you can do other things and still get the help that you need, because before you'd have to submit a ticket and then they'd get back to you, and then you'd have to go back and forth. Or you could call. You can still do those things, but there's a chat feature now. So you can talk to somebody in real time and get the help that you need quicker, which I love. That's a game changer for me. Were y'all aware of all of this?
Yeah.
Okay. That was kind of our experience too when we were training. We had a room probably this size and about this many people, and all people were like, wait, what is that? And so I think this is a really good review for some of us, and I think it's also a really good introduction to some of the other things that maybe we didn't know that we had to make our jobs a lot easier.
So Remax rewards going away?
They're still doing that. The perks at work, not going to change. Yeah, I love that too. You can get points if you shop for certain products at certain places, like HP. You can get an HP laptop. A lot of times you'll get points for that. You actually get a discount too. Which, by the way, who in here uses AT&T? Yeah, 20% off. Do y'all know about that?
No.
I did not know about this.
Yeah, I do it.
Okay.
Every month. And
20% off of your bill every single month if you are with AT&T and you work with Remax.
But it's all switched on to fiber optic. They switched to fiber optic.
You just call AT&T. Verizon will do it if you call and ask them. They don't advertise it, but a girl next to me was in my class and she said, "Oh yeah, I'm with Verizon." I told them what AT&T was doing, and they did it without question. So it's worth a shot. 20%.
Also on like
You just tell me.
cases and stuff.
Oh, on the accessories too?
Oh, yeah, a lot of them, not all of them, like, this was about normally like whatever.
Yes.
Did you do it online shopping or did you do it in
No,
store?
well, I did it in the store, but you do have to bring in, you can't just.
I know, I didn't
buy
either.
it. You have to bring in something.
Mhm.
Or you don't bring it.
So little value add for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything that's circled are things that have changed over the last 90 days. Everything else has already been changed. So just to give you guys kind of a visual on what we're talking about here, and there's still more changes to come. I think some of them have been subtle. Some of them we probably didn't really pick up on, but the big ones with booj and everything else, that's going to be where it's at. Okay, so this is what we call the engagement pyramid, and don't worry, this looks a little boring, but it's not, I promise. This is how they taught us, and this is what I think I want to do with you guys. So right now, we are going to access the product. That's what everyone's going to do the first step, first day. We're going to build that foundation to where we understand it, and we're going to get it set up so that framework is there, so that when they continue to release new features in these areas, everything is there, and we don't have to backtrack and go back and correct our work or do double the work. We're going to do it right the first time around. Okay. So access, understanding, basic setup. Some of you have asked me, where is booj? How do I get there? It lives in Mac Center, and you access it the same way you do everything else with your remax.net credentials. Okay. Anybody unsure what their remax.net credentials are? I asked because a lot of people in our training room did not know what they were. So remax.net, you should be very, very well versed, because if you knew about the technology that I just shared, this is how you access it. Usually it's like your first name and your last name, or it's your first initial and your last name. That's kind of your key to get into any of the gateways, or the gateway into Mac Center, including the mobile app where we talked about branding it. Your agent key, if you guys are familiar, it is this. Everything always points back to this. Okay. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that the account, my account right here, has really seen an overhaul, but for the better. Because before, you'd have to go in and you would have to go into all these different little screens. And now when you log in the top left-hand corner, there's going to be a photo of you if you've uploaded your photos. And you'll just click on it, and that's where every bit of your details are going to be. I cannot stress this enough, and I think this is one of the things we shared while we were away. Anything that's in Mac Center is going to feed the booj platform. So if you're not set up within your profile in Mac Center, you are already behind from when we're going to go live with your website. This is your coverage areas where you say that you want leads to come in from, so people can find you. This is where you can indicate what zip codes you want to receive leads in, or which zip codes you work primarily within. It's your contact information, it's your photo. All of that needs to be updated and current. Otherwise, it could affect how you get leads, if you get leads, and whether or not the consumer can find you. And that's why we're doing all of this. So step one is to log into Mac Center, if you haven't done this already, or within the last week or so, and update your profile. Go through step by step, section by section. If you guys are unsure how to do this, please call me. I promise it's not complicated. Okay. For those of you who have done it, do you agree that it's pretty simple? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. A couple of little updates about Mac Center in general. They've also overhauled that and made it a lot easier to find things, which I think is a big improvement. Now there's a universal search feature. So when you log into Mac Center, there's a little magnifying glass right here on the top right-hand corner of your screen. You can click that and search any term. So maybe you want to see, maybe you're trying to recruit somebody onto your team and they're with Keller Williams. And you want to know about Keller Williams, how you can compete against them, because that's obvious. You would search Keller Williams, and everything that Remax has about how Remax compares to that, or any kind of articles that maybe somebody left Keller Williams and went to Remax, it's all going to come up. So you don't have to go and hunt and try to find it all. Universal search is awesome. Newsfeed. This is going to be when you first log in on the left-hand side. This is going to look very similar to like a social media feed. So when articles and information and announcements are made from the mothership, from Remax LLC, you're going to see that. And it's also going to be tailored based on the things that you look at while you're in Max Center. So if you're somebody who's really curious about events that are coming up, you're going to see a lot of event information. So it's going to follow you throughout the platform, which is pretty cool. So you should see things that are all based on your own interests, similar to how you would see on your own Facebook or Instagram or anything else like that. They updated kind of behind the scenes for their little Remax URL shortener. So more analytics to kind of show you how many people are interacting, how many times was it clicked, which is interesting because if you send it to one person and you see that it has like 15 clicks, was it them that clicked on it or was 15 new people that they shared? Who knows? It'll tell you that. Main Street, for those of you guys who aren't really new, you remember what this was within Max Center, and oh my God, that's gone. Bye-bye. See you later. The Max Center referral platform, we talked about that. That's if somebody, you're trying to find somebody, I see this all the time. I'm looking for somebody in Crosby, I'm looking for somebody here. Look in here. It's just Remax. If you know of a colleague who maybe started in Texas and went far away, you can find them in here. And you can connect with them straight from within that little tile within Max Center. Again, this little My Account, this is going away. It's going to redirect you back to the little photo that I talked about when you log into Max Center. They're trying to simplify is the best way that I can put it, and I think I am all for it. It makes it a lot easier for me when you guys are like, hey, where do I find this? Go here. And it makes it a lot easier for you guys when you're trying to do something right then. You don't have to wait for an answer. Any questions on these updates? Y'all bear with me. I know some of you, this is probably just a review. Some of you maybe are hearing this for the first time, but I promise we're going to get to the goods. Okay, URL shortener, again, shorter, cleaner links. You can customize the keywords. So this little guy right here, all of this is customizable. You can name it whatever you want. I like to kind of take the link from the mobile app and put it in here. And so it's rem.ax/getmarksapp or getcarrie's app or something. And then you just send that to your text message or whatever. And then they have it. So it's branded, it's got your name in it, and it's a tiny little link. Easily shareable again, and then tracking. Everyone wants to know, hey, did you get it? And they're saying, well, I never clicked on that. I don't have that. Well, over here it says you did, so tell me what you think about it. So that kind of helps. What's that?
I said, stop lying.
Yeah, don't be a liar.
I'm
Yeah.
tracking you.
Okay, so this is a really good visual for you guys to see what the new profile looks like. If you have not been in it since May 24th, that's when it launched. This is what it looks like. So when you log in, you're going to see your picture, top left-hand corner. You'll click that, and you're going to be brought into this screen, okay? Things may have moved a little bit, so now I think the photo might be on this side, but nonetheless, you're going to see these little sections on the side, and then you'll scroll up and down here to kind of update that information. A lot of what you can edit, you're going to see a pencil, which is familiar, I think, for most of us. You'll click on that pencil, that's how you edit. If you find that it's not letting you, that's probably an office level feature that you won't be able to edit. We went through that this morning with some of you. But most of it you should have full control because this is your profile and it's your info. Okay. So these are the sections that I kind of referenced earlier that you want to make sure that you go through each and every one of them when you're in your profile area within Max Center, because all of these details are the details that are going to feed into booj, which also is remax.com. So that's where the consumer is going to go to find you most of the time. You want to make sure that you're current. Okay. Talk about service areas. Are y'all familiar with the term service areas as it relates to your profile? Okay. So service areas, the office or the brokerage can name 8. So that's what Charlie does when he sets up an office. He'll say, these are the areas that our agents are serving. He can change these whenever he wants. Right now we've got all 8. 5, you guys can choose for yourself. So outside of the ones that the office is going to suck in, you're going to have 5 that you can choose. You want to make sure that you have all 5 accounted for. Previously, within Lead Street, we could duplicate an area. We're not going to do that anymore. They're not going to allow it because they want they want to have equal exposure for everybody in all areas across all zip codes. So if you're somebody who's like, well, I just want to work in Lumberton, just put Lumberton once. You're not going to have better exposure, or you're not going to come up higher in the search if you put it 10 times. It's just going to recognize it as one entry. Okay, so that's a change. You can choose 5 areas, and so there are 13 total service areas that each of you will have when you combine the 8 and the 3. So 8 for the office, 5 that you get to choose yourself. Okay, again, that's in your profile area within Max Center.
Do you know the 8 that the office has?
You'll
So
see
they
'em.
don't duplicate it? Okay.
You'll see them.
4, that's what some of it's one, so.
You saw 4?
Yeah,
And
there's
you, that's what you said was our go-to, there's only 4 it showed in there, so I can't tell if I'm repicking. If
I
that's
think you pick them no
banana,
matter what, because you're going to see Beaumont, you're going to see Lumberton, you're going to see Nederland or whatever that is. I think you pick them for your own as well, if those are the areas that you're currently
Okay.
working in. That way you have it in both. You have it at the office level, but then you have it as an individual choosing that area as well. Okay, zip codes, you can have 10. So 5 service areas, 10 zip codes. Again, you want to make sure if you're just interested in like 2 zip codes, then just put 2. You don't have to have all 10 filled out anymore. And if you duplicate them, it's still only going to recognize it as 1. So they said when they were training us, it's in your better interest to put all unique zip codes. That way you have a better shot at getting a lead that maybe you can't service, but you can refer to someone else who can. So it's another opportunity to kind of generate some business that way as well.
Since we're not using Lead Street anymore.
Gonna move to Booj. You want to get them set up within Lead Street now. So that way, whenever that function moves into Booj, it's going to go right over to it. It's going to transfer right over.
Okay, we didn't take all of our leads out of Lead Street.
Get all your contacts, export them out. Yes. Which, and here's my thing with that. When you guys go in and you export your contacts or the leads from Lead Street, it's going to give you a chance to clean them up. So I highly, highly encourage you guys to do that. Maybe they made their way onto your don't ever call me again list and you don't want them in your database anymore. We all have them. That would be a prime opportunity to really get them cleaned up, get them organized, remove the duplicates. That way when you're uploading them or importing them into the Booj platform, it's clean, it's organized, it's ready to go. Okay. All right, a little bit about RE/MAX University. We talked about this. You can earn certifications, designations. There's a whole bunch of them in there. There are some CE courses. So if you guys find yourselves down to the wire and you need to get a quick credit, look in here. Sometimes there are some available in here when you need them to be. Thousands of videos, which if you guys search hard enough, you'll find Charlie in there a few times. It's so funny because you can tell like they're from years and years ago, and he's so different. So educational videos, you can search within RE/MAX University. That's a new feature as well. Previously, it was really hard to find what you were looking for. Now it's not. So if you wanted to see a listing presentation, or if you wanted to see something about luxury, you just type in those terms and it's going to pull up everything associated with it. Okay. RE/MAX also purchased Momentum late last year. So all of that information is within here as well, within RE/MAX University. And our region has a designated person. So if you guys are into the Momentum classes that I'm teaching every month and you wanted to take it a step further, you could reach out to our contact there and they could fill your head up with more goodness. Any questions about RE/MAX University? Okay. This is new. Every Tuesday, are you guys getting an email from RE/MAX called Recharge? You should be. Check your spam folders. Mine sometimes end up there. These are just quick little 1 to 2 minute videos with updates on tech. Very relevant because there's a lot of change happening to our tech here lately. There's tips, there's tricks. They usually link to something that they're talking about, so it'll take you straight there, so you don't have to go back and find it. And all of these little clips and videos live in Max Center under the tile called Tech News. It's green and it has a megaphone. It's usually toward the bottom of the screen because it's a new tile. But all of those are going to be here in an archive. So if you're like, what was that awesome video 3 weeks ago? They told me to do something, I didn't do it. They're in here. Okay. Okay. Anything that maybe y'all didn't know about that you know about now after going through all of this? Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Y'all's faces are our faces last week because they would ask us and we were like, we learned a lot, you know? So that's what we did. My favorite thing I think that's come of all this is just the ease of it. If you guys are familiar with Mac Center even a year ago, it's come a long way, long way. Because it used to be very difficult to navigate. So that's probably my big takeaway. And that really the only constant is the amount of change that has already happened and that will continue to happen. Okay. Now, getting back up into this pyramid, this is kind of where we went through the tools that we have, the basic setup, how important the profile is, and all of that information and those details. We're going to talk a little bit now about contact management, which is what we're going to do this afternoon. Okay. I want to be very, very clear on this. When I heard that it was launching today, I was like, okay, I need to update all my contacts. I need to upload them. I need to do it today. False. False, false, false. It is more important that you guys take the time with your sources where all of these contacts are, whether they're in your cell phone, pulling out of Paragon. If you've got people set up on saved searches, you should be able to pull those out, those contacts. Any contacts that you put into Back Agent. Melissa is submitting a little ticket right now to make sure that we can export those contacts that were associated with the transactions that we've submitted. What are some other good examples of where you can pull your contacts from? Top Producer. Any other CRMs that you guys are using?
Put those on Excel sheet? Is that what I need to do?
Yes, 100%.
Are you gonna help me?
Yes. Yes. So for some reason, everyone is afraid of Excel, but
No, I'm not, I just wanna make sure all my information, cause I want that to go away. I wanna make sure I don't lose anything. I have
no, you
so much
definitely
stuff
don't want to
in
lose
there.
anything.
Right.
Where's some other areas that you guys have contacts other
I
than your
just have
brain?
spreadsheets, you know, that,
Mhm.
and all that. can just be-
Yeah. What else, you guys? Where are your contacts housed right now? Notebooks upon notebooks
On,
upon
on,
notebooks.
on things like this. I
Yes.
have stacks and stacks.
Yes. Okay, so you can see already why it's more important to take your time, get them in one place, clean them up, then import them. Okay. You can do it the other way. You can just kind of willy-nilly, just whatever. I'm telling you, probably not the best idea because it's going to create double the work for you when you're in there. Okay. Yes.
So I downloaded all of her Google contacts yesterday and it comes out as a CVS. Is that how that's been uploaded in as a CVS?
Yes. Yeah,
Or
it's
is
a
it an
CSV file.
CSV.
A CSV file. And if you guys saw, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, in our super secret Facebook group, I imported a file. That's the booj template. So when you take your contacts, my suggestion, and if y'all want, we can do a separate class on this.
Yes.
My suggestion would be to open up an Excel file, have multiple tabs at the bottom, and say, okay, these are my top producer contacts. These are my Paragon contacts. These are the ones from my phone. These are my Gmail contacts. The list goes on and on. And then what you can do, you'll have the template that you'll use to send them into booj, and then just copy them over. Copy them over after you clean them up. That way they're all still within one file, so to speak, but they're ready. That booj will say, yeah, I know what that means. I'm going to take them in and put them in here.
So I just wanted to.
And it's a CSV, but that file, if you guys need it, it's in our super secret Facebook group, but I also put it in Back Agent. That way, if you've got an Excel sheet, if you just copy paste. And the fields, you guys, are so easy.
There's a
first
lot
name,
of them though.
there are a lot, which I love too, because you can tag your contacts during the import process, which is amazing. So you don't have to go back into each individual contact and tag them. You'll put the tags in as part of the import, which is wonderful. So yes, that's my suggestion
So
for you guys.
before importing any of that templated Excel spreadsheet, that's where you recommend going in, tweaking it, making it as pretty and
Yes, 100%.
I think the tags, that's something that I haven't done.
Will your tags carry over that you have, like I have tagged right now in my top producer?
So with the booj template,
I know.
the import template is what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
You can add 3 tags as part of the import. When you are in booj, you can have unlimited contacts. So for me, like when I'm updating my database right now, and the CRM that I'm using is Contactually, I have tags for each office. My Beaumont office, these are my agents in Beaumont. These are my agents in Nederland. These are my agents in Bridge City. Those are my tags. So if I were uploading my list, I'm going to use those tags. That way, when those get imported, that's done for me. But maybe I want to go back in and say, this is a new agent. This person's new to RE/MAX 1 that is experienced. This is somebody who's a recruit. This is somebody who has left, or this is a team member, team leader. That's how I would categorize and use tags. So I'm going to have 3 as part of my import process, but I can have 1,000 if I wanted to for each contact within booj itself. Does that make sense? Okay. As far as the tags from other CRMs, that's going to look completely different. Because say that with Top Producer, and I'm not familiar with it at all, but say with Top Producer, you've got 6. I would pick your top 3 that you know that you use the most, that you're going to be able to find people with, and make those your tags for import. And then go back in and clean that up. Yeah.
Is that a, that's a stupid question, but is that a column within the columns?
So in the template, it's like first name, last name, tag 1, tag 2, tag 3, phone number 1, phone number 2. So it's very clear on what that is in those columns.
So you think you will do a class about that? So
If y'all want it, I mean, I'm at your disposal. I know some people are kind of like, Excel is not my friend. I don't know anything about it. But luckily, you don't have to know a lot about it to do this. If you just get them in there, and then we can kind of clean them up together. Yeah.
first you have to clean the file up.
Totally.
Well, I mean, mainly, basically, I can do the Excel, but then going from the Excel into booj.
That's what we're going to do this afternoon.
Oh,
But not with our contacts,
Okay.
because again, that's something that I really, really encourage you guys to take your time with.
Okay.
You can do it now if you want.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking kind of
And you just name
weeks
these
ahead. Yes, name the tags. And those tags are completely decided upon by you. There are some default tags within the system, but again, you know what you're looking for, so why not make them your own tags? Okay. Ooh. Okay. So this is a little sneak peek of what's coming with the launch of remax.com. Coming soon. You know how you guys go to Zillow or any of the other third-party sites, and your consumer can draw on the map, and they can say, I want to be here, or I want to be here, draw the little polygons. They'll have the ability to do that. These are called pills, which is so ridiculous, but they're called pills. This is very Zillow-esque, if you guys are familiar with the way that looks. But all of it's going to be here. They're going to be able to draw according to school district. So if you have somebody who's like, I really don't care where I am as long as I'm in this district, they'll filter with that option, and it's going to draw and show you the boundary lines for that district. RE/MAX is partnered up with another company, it's like Map Onyx or something, and that's what that allows them to do. Zip code is the same way. So if somebody is really interested in a certain zip code for whatever reason, they can search that way. Probably the coolest thing is and Charlie may have shared this with you guys, they are introducing augmented reality, which is super techy and very nerdy, but also very cool. It's going to allow the consumer, or you guys, take their phone, say that you're on a street, it's got multiple listings. Maybe it's new construction, maybe it's not. You're walking around, you'll hold your phone up to that house. It's going to pop up a window and say, oh, hey, here's the information that you need to know about this house. It's listed by anything that is within the MLS, you'll be able to find it. Not just RE/MAX, but anything that's active on the MLS, which is going to be awesome because then you guys don't have to go, let me look in Paragon. It's all right there. Okay. It's bananas. Bananas. It's just so cool. That's coming, I think end of year. I think that's phase 2 feature because it's part of remax.com. Ta-da! So this is what it's going to look like, you guys. It's so much cleaner, in my opinion. You have your search bar up at the top. They've got all your filters up here, so it's very, very what they're used to already. They're searching. And when Adam Contos came in and talked to us on the first day, he said it's not our goal just to be a leader with real estate technology. Our goal is to be the global leader for real estate technology, and he is very confident that with these updates, we're getting closer and closer. I won't lie, I have used Zillow a time or two to search for a property, or realtor.com, and this knocks the pants off of both of those. it's too easy. It's a lot easier for the consumer. The information, they don't have to go searching for it, and it's accurate. Remax, the reason that this is coming in November is they're constantly making agreements with every MLS in this country to be able to have this kind of access and this kind of information, which is wonderful. Okay. You guys can kind of see the little polygon here and what that looks like. It's going to tell them things like the average commute to the nearest school. It's going to tell them how drivable an area is, what's around, lifestyle stuff, which I think is nice too, especially if you've got a lot of relo business who maybe aren't familiar with our area. All of that is going to live within this one little website.
I wonder if they'll have the correct bathroom number, unlike realtor.com.
Not gonna round up.
They don't have half
Round up.
Yeah.
If it has a half bath,
Like,
it gives it a full bath.
Yeah.
So 2.5 baths
So
is 3.
it's all going to be, so the mock-ups they showed us, it did show the halves. It showed the half baths. Because it was like 3, 2.5, 2, whatever. So it was very specific. Yeah,
Some of them that show
it'll show the garage.
car garage.
Mhm. Yes. Okay. The app, so everything that we've talked about in terms of the desktop version, it's also going to translate over to the app for the consumer. So just like they're used to opening up Zillow or whatever else, they'll go to the Remax app, do the same thing. But the good news is they'll have way more options to get in touch with you than they ever have before. There's going to be constant contact the agent, call me now, get in touch. Like they don't have to look. It's going to be right there at their fingertips. If you are unsure how to get your brand on the app, let me know. It's very simple. It's 2 steps. Right here, that's the link. Again, you guys can even put this in the little URL shortener if you want to make it smaller. Your agent key is whatever comes before @remax.net. So whatever your credentials are to log in to all of this goodness, you'll use the first part of it before you get to the @remax.net, and that's your agent key. Okay. So the next time, if you're talking with someone, hey, get my app, I'll text it to you. You'll text them that little link with your agent key. They'll tap on it. It'll take them straight to their app store. I'm an Apple person, so app store. I think, what is it for Android? Google Play or something? I don't know. So you get into that. They'll download it as if it were any other app, but when they open it, they'll see your face. Okay. Anybody doing this?
You mean our email address?
Yes,
Yeah.
you just won't need @remax.net. So it's like mine is Kristen Windsor @remax.net.
Yeah, you just.
Mine would be /Kristen Windsor. Yeah. Anybody already doing this with the app?
I just don't think it was much.
I
probably
did,
should.
yeah.
When I first started, I was doing it good enough before.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Say that.
Agreed. So I would encourage you guys to start making that a habit of just kind of introducing that as part of your conversations with your buyers and your sellers. That way, whenever it launches, it's going to automatically update on their phone. And when they open it, they're going to be like, oh, wow, what is this? And they'll be able to play with it first. Okay. So here's a few little mock-ups of what that looks like for the property searches. Again, this should look pretty familiar. This to me is very, very reminiscent of Zillow or even realtor.com. But you guys are going to see, so here's the full baths, the half baths. When you guys were asking about that, here are the features too. They can love it or they can favorite a property. It's going to notify you as soon as they do it. They can also hide the property. So maybe they're like, oh no, that's way too big. I don't need that. It will notify you. Hey, this person doesn't care about this property. Cool. Virtual tours, any of that. So here's a good example of the communication piece. So say that John says, hey, I really like this yard. Can you see if we can check it out? It's going to notify you as well. You'll have the choice on how much you want to be notified. Everybody has their own preference with this. So it's a matter of, do you want to get a text message, a little push notification that says, hey, you have a showing request? Do you want an email? Do you want both? You get to pick. Same thing, depending on how often your consumer or your client or your contact is communicating with you. Some people want to know instantly so that they can pick up the phone. Some people are like, nope, I'm good with an email. You get to choose. Okay, because it'll notify you each step that they take, which to me, I like to know that, but I could see how that could quickly become a little overwhelming. Again, here's a good call to action right here. Contact the agent. This is another view of what that looks like. This is the this is showing you the augmented reality, so this is pretty cool too. These little rays come out, and so as you're walking the street, it's going to pop up just like this, the little box. It gives you the address, the price. It's going to tell you, does it have 4 beds, 3 baths, what's the square footage, and then when you click on view more, it's going to pull up the whole detail sheet. Very, very, very similar to what you would see in the MLS.
Do we know yet if our MLS is on board?
As far as I know, that is a yes. And I asked Katie, I said, hey, how quickly do we refresh? You know, because some very rural, I can never say that word, MLSs like up in really, like, we had a broker from Montana who was in next to us. She's like, we have to update every 2 days. I was like, 15 minutes is what Katie said for the Beaumont board, which I think is great. So as things are going active, you guys, if you're walking down a street and there's a new listing, it's going to pop up when you show your phone, just slide your phone over. I just think that's the coolest thing. It's kind of creepy, but it is awesome. This is so awesome. It is. And this is just kind of a map view, which all of us I think are familiar with. It's just going to show everything that kind of pops up within that area, and then the filters are up here. They'll have the option to save the search. So very similar, if like you're sending them a saved search based on their criteria, every week, every day, whatever their preference is, they can do that from within the app, and it'll also notify you. Hey, they're specifically looking for this. Hey. Any questions? Are y'all excited about the way this looks? I am.
But it's imperative that we have garages up there. I mean, people search only 2 or 3, you know, it's imperative. It's just like a bathroom or a bedroom.
I agree. Yeah. And my understanding is that if that is a field within the MLS and it is filled out, then it will show here.
Okay, up top though? Okay.
Yeah. So this one, I don't know why this one, and maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But yeah, you would think, right? I can find out. I'll send a little email and be able to get an answer for that question for sure.
Filter in, so they have to have at least a 3-car garage, use it as a filter on the top left, on that top left picture. So nothing will pop up unless it has at least a 3-car garage. Right, as they search.
But you're saying like if there's not that field, how would they even be able to narrow it down, right?
Yeah, but we just need to see. I think it's an injustice to our sellers.
Okay, I will find out for you for sure. Okay, another lead generating platform. So as Remax.com gets a big update, all of the other sites will as well. So global, commercial, luxury, all of those sites will get the same type of features, the same powerful function as what Remax.com will also have. So global, of course, is global Remax listings. At any given point, there are over 800,000 properties for sale or for rent. And this particular site is viewable in over 40 languages. And it's also going to show over 60 currencies, which I think is so cool. I love that because I think it's sometimes like it's easy to forget that you are part of a global brand. Like we're not just here where we are. We're like, if somebody has something listed in Peru, they'll know about it, right? Okay, luxury. Some of you guys in this room do some luxury properties, right? Little fun fact, agents that have the designation make 250% more than an average Remax agent, which I think is just outstanding. There are some new criteria, you guys. I think in the past, in order for it to qualify as a luxury property, I think it had to be at least twice what the normal average sale price was in a particular area. But there's also a new threshold that it has to meet as well. So now you have 2 sets of criteria because some people were marketing luxury properties that really weren't luxury properties. And this is important because if you want it to show up on this site, then it does have to meet both criteria. I'm going to post in our super secret Facebook group as well as our back agent what the threshold is. It's super low for our area because our average sales price I think is like 170-ish. So ours is like in the 3s. Or maybe it may be like 415 or something. So it's not super, super high, but you guys need to know about it. So I'll post that so you can see it. And each zip code has its own threshold. But I think for the majority of our area, it's about the same. Remax commercial, some of you guys also dabble in commercial, or maybe that's all you do. There are over 3,000 commercial practitioners in over 58 countries within the Remax network, which I think is great. This Remax commercial is ranked in the top 25 for all commercial organizations, and Remax does have an exclusive partnership with LoopNet, which you guys know is sort of the gateway for where all of those listings tend to appear. And that's where a lot of times people will search first for commercial properties. So Remax commercial, definitely something to take a look at if that's an area that you're doing business in.
So can we get in the LoopNet? I mean, I know we can go to LoopNet, but we can log on to it. Like,
It's a whole other animal of its own life.
Totally different animal.
I'm always talking about your next team.
They weren't using it.
They're using it.
so when you say we're partners with it, that doesn't mean.
It's a whole other animal.
Every week, can you give me an update on this?
Right. Syndication. Let's talk about this. This is sort of the thorn in my side. It's so great on the one hand, but it's also a big pain on the other because say our MLS updates or refreshes every 15 minutes. That doesn't mean that Zillow is going to update or refresh every 15 minutes. The consumer does not understand that. And so you guys are the ones getting the phone call saying, where's my listing? I don't see it on Zillow, or I don't see it here.
Don't call yourself.
You know, so here's what you need to know about listing syndication as it relates to our technology. Right now, all of this information is within Lead Street, which again is going to go away. But it's important that you guys get your settings set right now so that it all transfers over whenever remax.com relaunches. So if you're in Lead Street, there's a little thing at the top where the menu is, and you click on it, and it says listing. A drop down is going to show up, and you're going to click on syndication. There are lots of little boxes that you can click on where you want to be syndicated out to when you post or when you submit a new listing. Zillow's in there. Which other ones, Ashley? You were just in there that morning. Check them all. And some randomly, like several months ago, the boxes were turning off, and agents were having to go back in and recheck them. If your people aren't griping at you that they can't see their listings, odds are your boxes are checked because they know. So get into Lead Street at some point this week. Take a look under listings, then listing syndication. Make sure all your boxes are checked.
Oh, yeah, that's what that problem I had that
Yes.
time. Do you remember?
Yes.
And I
It
didn't
just
know you had to
randomly
go
turned
in.
off.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I thought Lead Street was going away.
What's that?
Everything was new. Everything was
Yeah.
new.
Yeah. Go into Lead Street and then the menu, listings, and then listing syndication. Okay, so here's a quick visual for you guys too. Thank you. A before and after. So here's what it looks like currently for the consumer. They go to remax.com. This is what it looks like. They want to know about something. It goes into your Lead Street. Okay, that's what's going to happen until the end of the year, November-ish. New workflow. Website into Lead Street when somebody wants to learn more or take some type of an action. What's coming? You've got new remax.com. Hooray. They're going to go here either to the office website, the team website, the agent website, whichever, wherever they land. Then it's all going to filter into booj. Okay, so no more Lead Street. Everything moves over here when the remax.com, the new site launches. Probably November. Okay. That's what we mean when we say that it is truly a single platform. Everything's going to live right here, so you don't have to go into a million places to get your business done. Here's another visual, just to kind of show you guys how much more simplified it's going to be. So current remax.com website. Here's an agent website, Lead Street. So the agent is interacting at this point. The consumer here, maybe they're taking action here. Maybe they take action on at the agent level, and then they go back to here, and then maybe that results in a lead. Maybe. Now it's just going to go consumer here straight to here so that you can access it a lot quicker. The office website, the team website, the agent website, they all have multiple calls to action so that that person doesn't get confused about where they are at any given point and how they can contact somebody right then when they need it. Okay, because before, very, very difficult. Okay, so here's a little sneak peek of what's coming. We talked about this. Go ahead, export everybody out of Lead Street. Again, doesn't have to be done today. Just make sure you get it done before October. That's your goal. And then clean them up. Remove the people that you don't really want to work with anymore. Get rid of your duplicate. Do the work now. You can still manage any new leads that are still coming in from Lead Street. I know some of you guys get them pretty regularly. Still do that. Do that until you know that Lead Street has the lights turned off. Okay, because you'll know there's going to be a big announcement. Stop promoting your agent website. I don't know that many of you do. The one that you currently have, which is poweredbyhomes.com. That's going away too. Okay. So when the launch of remax.com happens, it's all going to be powered by booj. No more homes.com. What we're going to talk about this week is your website. Right now, you have all the access to move around the content exactly the way that you want it. It is completely up to you. If you're more of a set it and forget it kind of person, that's an option as well. The templates are beautiful. They're so well done. If you're somebody who wants to shine more of a focus on the communities that you're a part of, you can put that at the top. If you want to include it, but maybe you want to put your listings ahead of it, you can move it down. It's all drag and drop. Very, very easy to use, which is encouraging because when they're talking about a content management system and the editor, and I'm like, oh my God, but it is very, very, very easy to use. Okay. I think we did one in like 5 minutes as a group. So don't fear. How many of you guys have custom domains like danajohnson.com or, okay. Recommendation for you guys, you need to find your provider, GoDaddy or any of these other ones. Let them know that there's a new site that's coming and they can route your current domain to here when that happens. So let them know, hey, in November, I'm going to need you to know about this.
Or vice versa.
Correct. So that way they'll sync up. So like if somebody's going to joinarcana.com, but he still wants Remax to be the thing that they see, which he should, because that's where all the listings are going to be fed anyways, then he would go to wherever his provider is, GoDaddy, whoever, and say, hey, in November, I'm going to need you to be able to route this over, and they'll be at least prepared and can do it for you guys with a mouse click. There's going to be a little bit of information that we'll be sharing with you guys because they're going to want to know things like the DNS and all these other weird names. We'll give those to you. So all you have to do is say, here, do it. They'll take care of it. Okay. Let your people know that you have all new features coming for them. It's all about them. Get them excited about it. That's something that you can do right now. Throughout the week, we're going to go in and update our settings within our CRM and those notifications. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about how you can manage the new leads that come in, which is wonderful, about how you can tag them and what the lead score means and the sphere score means. We'll talk about, we've talked a lot about this already, organizing and cleaning up your contacts. If you were a beta tester and you have contacts that you put in there, you can go ahead and just kind of put them on your sheet. I don't think you'll have to re-upload them. They should transfer, but I always like to have a backup. That's just me. And again, if you've got people in Lead Street, if you have people on saved searches in your phone, if you've got wherever else your contacts are, start pulling them in. And we've been kind of stressing that a little bit over the last few weeks and the last few months. Now is the time to do it. So if you are somebody who likes to put things off until the last minute, your last minute is here. Your last minute is here. So go ahead and do that this week. All right. Any questions? I know. This is me.
I can't believe you did 32 hours of this.
This is me. Yeah. Let's see what else. What goodies? Okay, marketing portal, right? Does this look familiar for you guys? If y'all been in the marketing portal? So this is in Mac Center as well. If you guys, this is kind of where those social covers live, like for your YouTube or your social media, like your Facebook covers. Everything about the brand. If you were curious about what color red is the Remax red, you'll find it here. The logos are here, Children's Miracle Network logos, all of that. Go here first. That way you know that you're compliant first and foremost, but that you have the most current Remax logo. There's press release templates in here. So say that somebody on your team, or maybe you're an individual who, like Sherry Phillips, who just made Hall of Fame. There's a template in here that she could send out as a press release saying that she's achieved this awesome milestone. Lots of goodies in there too to kind of showcase people. Approved suppliers. Anything that you could possibly think of lives in here. These are all of the approved suppliers that exist today. And again, really do some digging because you can find a lot of great discounts on a lot of just common products. Anybody using this or have used it? Your signs, you can get your signs through here too. Yeah. I think
About to call Verizon and AT&T.
Hey, while we were in the training, I was like chatting with AT&T. I'm like, I need you to send me that link because I didn't know about this. This is what Carrie was talking about. This is perks at work or Remax rewards. You can earn discounts and points that you can then kind of transfer or translate into other rewards and discounts with certain, I guess, vendors. But this applies to travel. This applies to any type of continuing education that you might be doing. It's pretty cool.
What have you, like, what's the best perks you've gotten at?
Travel and local restaurants.
Okay.
Travel mainly.
So what's your most common way of earning the points? Is it like buying your signs and your marketing through there, or is it?
I think you have to go and buy coupons and stuff through the site. Like you can, if you spend $20 or more, like booj, usually you get like $5 off or something like that. The more you use it, the more points you gather. The more points you gather, the more free stuff you get.
Yeah, and I think some things weigh heavier than others. So like if you buy a computer, obviously you're gonna get more points for that.
Yeah.
Travel, especially.
Yeah.
Your bigger purchases.
I haven't utilized
I'm a
that,
Mac
so I'm
person.
curious, yeah.
I know, it drives me nuts. I wish they did.
Well, speaking as an HP person, I think it's great.
Yeah. No, it's good for-
HP is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for printer stuff too.
Oh yeah, that's really good. Design Center, you guys know, just because you get the automated listing materials that you can share with your seller, if you somehow delete the email and you're like, oh, what did I just do? They're all in here. They're archived. And you may or may not know that you can change how that looks visually. There's 3 different templates that you can choose from. The first one looks a lot like, it's more blue, more minimal, kind of like these. But the other one has a lot more red. The other one's got a little bit more navy. So you can choose on how you want that to look. So if you're like, I want it to be Remax, but I don't want it to look like everybody else's, just change up the template and it'll apply to everything in that package. The automated materials, there are 7 things that should be coming to you anytime that you have a new listing that goes active in Paragon. Anything from a jumbo size postcard to a flyer to a regular size postcard. What else? Single property website.
E-flyer.
E-flyer.
Social post.
Social, and then like a JPEG, right? Just like a standard JPEG. So it's awesome. It's a really cool tool that you can then flip over to your seller and say, look what I've done for you. Within 24 hours, they're all about it. They love it. And best of all, you didn't take any time to do it. Because you guys know, I mean, that can take just hours. Yeah. This is just kind of a visual to share with you guys on what that looks like. These are all the things that we just went through, the little things that come out. And this comes to your email. Like, yay, you have a new listing, Dana. Here's your marketing suite of materials. You can choose to use all of it or none of it. It's just there if you need it. Who in here uses AdWords or has used it? Yeah, y'all like it? Yeah.
I like seeing it just pop up.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You do use it.
I used to in my house.
For everything or just the ones that you feel like
The
need?
ones on-
Yeah. I think it is. I
You
agree.
can target it.
Mhm.
You can target it. I think you need to be careful with your targeting. You be careful how you target it, because they can come back on.
Yeah. So I think my understanding of AdWords, you get a week for free with your listings, correct? And then you can choose to extend it beyond that and pay whatever for however long.
Usually I do $50 for 2 weeks.
Okay.
It gets like, I mean, you get like 2,000 guaranteed hit.
And do you do where you can share it with your seller to kind of let them see like when it's clicked on and where it shows up?
Yeah, I do that and then I kind of call it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Hey, Susan.
Yeah.
Can you do multiple of those into one contact with the zoo?
So like if you have a new steer or something. then you-
Really good question. The question was, can you do multiple imports into booj? Yes. Yeah, totally. So like say that you have a database of 1,500 people, and that's a lot of people. Booj, I have like, I'm in these little Facebook groups, like Remax Tech and Tools, which if you guys are not in that one, please get in it. There's such good things in there. The creative group is also a fun one. I love the creative one. But in that group, they said that they're having the most success, both in terms of just cleanly doing it, but also efficiently, 100 contacts at a time, just 100 at a time. So if you can think about it in terms like that, I think that'll make it a lot easier too. That way you're like, okay, here's my first 100, they're going in. Here's my list of advocates, they're going in. Your top people, your A people, the ones that you really want to be communicating with. So that's just a little tip that I saw in that group too.
Does it like show you the last import you had, and so you could go tag all those?
I think you
Because you
could.
could only do 3 tags, so.
Well, on import.
Right,
Tags on
but,
import.
but if you can see your last imports and you
Yes.
can go tag them.
You can.
I mean, that's the same thing,
Mhm.
and you're getting more than 3.
Yes. So one of the questions, of course, because realtors will always find a way, right? One of the questions was, if I add my own column in the import template for other tags, does it work? And the guy was like kind of fidgety, because he's not supposed to tell you that it can. He said that some people have tried that and it worked, but he said don't depend on it. So you can take that for what it is. My personality, I'm not one that would risk it, but he was like, because like somebody was like, well, I have 7 tags and I only have 7 tags and that's all that I want to do. And he was like, I'm just saying, like, it may work, it probably will work, but I don't recommend it. So take that and do it if you wish. Okay. So here's what's coming soon, the top of the pyramid with the booj tools, listing management or transaction management, that's coming. We are trying to figure out what that means for back agent and if they'll integrate or if this is going to be a lot better reliability wise than back agent. But we're going to work on that and find out. Right now, it's integrated with ZipLogix and DocuSign and DotLoop on the transaction management side of things. So if you guys are using any of that, maybe something to look at. And then deal management. Oh, I love this. So in booj, there's a little guide. It's called Deal Manager. And in the afternoons is where we're going to go and show you guys what that looks like and how it functions and what that means. Deal Manager is going to give you kind of a bird's eye view, an aerial view of what your GCI or your gross commission income would be if your deal goes through based on the percentage that you put in. So at any given point, you can say, oh, well, I know that I've got, 7 hanging out there, but what does that look like to me financially if they all close? I'm going to tell you what that looks like. So
what do we do? Wolfing does it now.
Okay, so are you a fan of loan wolf? Like during a transaction?
Oh, no.
You mean back age or long?
Not Lone Wolf.
He's talking about loan wolf.
Lone Wolf. Well, if you just go, if you go to transactions on it, it tells you, like, it has your listings in there. It tells you what your projected income is.
So I love this. Again, you can get into Lone Wolf. You can also, if you're in here, it's something that you can just click on and it'll be here too. It'll also show you it'll show you your average commission, which I think is great to know. Because you guys know it's never ever a full 6, it's never ever a full 3. It varies depending on what you're doing, which, whatever. So, what I love about it though is it's going to tell you, like, okay, if this is pending and then it's not pending, you can slide that scale to where, okay, maybe this one fell through and you'll just click fell through and then you move it back over into prospect phase. And so you can see it go through like every step of it. Which is,
I agree 175%. I'm very, very superstitious.
Are you superstitious?
Oh,
I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
Until
I'm forced to, I don't ever put a calculator.
That is hysterical. I had no idea. I love it. Okay, so maybe you don't click on that button. So you would just avoid that screen altogether.
Not needed.
So for those of you who are not superstitious, that feature is available, and I think it's going to be pretty cool long term. All right, so you want to take a look at this thing? See what it looks like? Okay, so where am I going to go to get it? Very good, you guys.
Yes.
So you guys know how to get to Mac Center? Tell me. Very good.
I don't know, it's not.
Remax.net will get you there. Also, MAXCNTR, which I don't know why they didn't just spell it out, but they didn't. It'll get you there as well. So how am I going to get here? Y'all are so good. All right. Little tidbit for you guys. See this little thing right here at the top? You're going to see this quite a bit as we continue to update new features and there's new phases that are rolling out. Make sure you're paying attention. Don't just fly by it. Little pro tip, if you want to make sure that you log in and you activate booj prior to getting the CRM app, because the desktop is the parent version of it. That's where everything kind of begins, and then it just feeds out into the app. So think about it in those terms. Get everything done in your desktop version first, and then you're good to go with CRM whenever you get to download it. Okay, so here's Mac Center. Couple of little things that we mentioned. Here's your profile area. Yay, so much easier to find. Click on that, and it's going to pull up all the goodness. This guy right here, update account, big blue button. It's your friend. That's where you'll find all of the information that you can then update. You need to have a photo. You need to have every field that's available to you filled out, okay? Over here, we mentioned this. Here's your news feed that I mentioned. So as you are interacting more and more with the features in Mac Center, you're going to have tailored information that lives here, which is really cool, just like you would on social media. This is where you can find that referral agent. So maybe there's somebody in a different state. You could do that right here from this main menu. And then tools, this is where the URL shortener is, which is really great. So you don't have to go and hunt for it. And then this is just customized. This is a recruiting site. So as a brokerage, if you wanted to put that out there, then you could. Getting back to my apps, another cool little thing. Do you see these little hearts? You can favorite them. So that way, if you didn't want to see all the tiles, so maybe you never use the shop Remax or you never look at above, that's fine. You don't have to worry about it. The ones that you favorite, you can just click on this heart here, and it's going to show you just the ones that I've favorited. So it kind of gives you a condensed look at that too. Okay. So getting back to all my apps, check it out. There's booj right there. I'm going to go ahead and favorite it because I feel like I'll be in it a lot. And I'm going to go into the beta version just because I don't want to do anything in the live version just yet. I want to show you guys what's in the beta version. That way I can move around and not have to worry about breaking it.
Should we have a booj beta on ours too?
You should not have a beta. You should just have the live version. So this is what it looks like, you guys. Very, very clean, very simple interface. What are your first impressions just looking at it? Yep.
Mine doesn't look like that.
Mine doesn't either. Mine's on the terms of use and information.
That's good. I don't have beta.
This is beta. So you guys probably won't see some of this. And Dana, I'm not even going to click on deals because it might scare you.
No.
So this is your dashboard. All of this is completely customizable as well in the live version. So if you're somebody who doesn't want to see some of this, you can just kind of move it around, like just click and drag, pick it and move it around, move it lower, move it higher, so that you get a true view of what's important to you, okay? I think probably one of my favorite features, if not my favorite feature, is how it thinks. You guys know, like, when you're navigating a website and you click on something, you have in your mind where you think it should take you, right? This does that. So if you think, oh, I need to click on this button because I want to go here, you'll go here, which is really nice. So it thinks like you do because it was developed by people who do what you do. And the language is very much the language that you guys are using. So I think all across the board, It's wonderful. Okay, so this is booj. I'm going to go up here into contacts and leads just to kind of show you guys what that looks like. One thing that I want you guys to memorize is blue is new. Okay, so anything that you see that's blue, it's going to take you to a new screen, a new area within the platform that you can do more work in or update the information or the record in. Okay, so like right here, add or import. That's what we're going to do this afternoon. We're going to import their little sample list of contacts that you see right here. And that way we'll go through those motions. These are all clickable, right? So blue is new. You can click on this and it's going to bring me straight to that contacts record. I can update whatever I want in there. Really cool thing about contacts within booj, you can also assign a household. So if you have a husband and a wife or a husband and a husband, you can associate them in a household. Because what you can also do within booj is create your mailing labels. Praise God. Because you guys know if you've had to do like a mail merge or anything else, it is a huge pain. Not anymore. So all of your contacts, when you kind of make a household, or maybe that's like older teenager, but you do a little bit of like work or marketing work or whatever, include them in that household. You can also split households. So if something goes wrong, which you guys are no stranger to that, and you deal with divorces all the time, then you can also remove that household or that affiliation from within your contacts. So that way when you're printing your mail labels or you're trying to communicate with everyone, it's not Merry Christmas, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It may just be Mrs. Smith now. So
So can you, just a question, so
Yeah.
if you remove them, can you add them to a separate, in the separate contact? You know, or
I'll show you.
it creates itself?
So I'm going to click on John Smith here. These are all the little guys that you'll see when you open up a contact. So you'll see all of your recent interactions, whether that's an email, a phone call, all of it's going to be logged right here if you're doing it from within the app. If you're not doing it from within the app and you want to take a log of it, then you could also manually import that as well. It's going to tell you actually when he was imported. So you had asked about that right here. These are some of the tags. So maybe he's a first-time home buyer and maybe he is interested in downtown. Those are some of the tags that were used. To get rid of him, you just click the X. It's very simple. The log, it's also printable. You can log a call maybe that you had. You can log a meeting. You can make a special note. Actions right here. You can send them an email, send them a text message from within the platform, which is really cool. You can delete them altogether if you decided that they were an a-hole and you didn't want to work with them anymore. All of their information here, this is very important. This is a booj term. It's called a preferred buyer agent. This is very important, and we're going to talk about this as the week goes on. If somebody indicates that, Mark, you are my preferred buyer agent, when they're interacting on a remax.com site and maybe they get redirected to Lynn's site, it's going to email you, Mark, and say, hey, so-and-so who indicated that you're their preferred buyer's agent is trying to book a showing with another agent. It's not going to tell you who. It will also notify that other agent, hey, Lynn, so-and-so has listed another agent as their preferred buyer's agent. So it should prompt you to say, oh, hey, John Smith, I noticed that or how's your home search going? Like, you don't have to be a creep about it, you know? How's your home search going?
What are you doing on the internet?
I was
Yeah.
keeping you on the web.
Yeah, but you see how it's designed to help prompt you and say, hey, how's your home search going? I'm free this weekend. Did you want to go see anything? Because you know they're trying to book a showing.
So
There you
we
go.
don't know it's Mark, but Mark doesn't know it's Lynn.
They won't know who it is. You guys both won't know because they don't want there to be any kind of like, yes. Because the consumer is not going to know, you guys. I mean, I know myself. I hop from site to
But
site to
some
site
people
to site.
Some people aren't gonna use this even. I mean,
I was
some people aren't
wondering how are
even,
they gonna.
some people aren't even gonna use it.
It prompts them.
And you know what, I mean, it's like,
So
like,
they have
you're gonna have to have a full-time assistant to sit and log.
I know.
this. I mean, it's like,
It will do as much or as little as you want it to do. Okay. To add a tag, where would I click? Add tag, right? So that's simple. All the activities here, we're going to talk about tasks, task plans. Task plans are more automated. So say that you get a listing, here's everything that needs to take place. And it's going to remind you. So my listing is in here, 10 days later, I'm going to need to do this task. 3 days after that, I need to do this task. So for new agents and even people who have been doing this forever, that is really cool, especially maybe if you have a new admin that you're training, or you've got team members that you have specific processes and systems that you're implementing. All of that's going to be in here too. So you can create these based on what your team does or what you do as an individual agent as well. And best of all, you can assign these tasks to certain people and say, okay, so you go do this, I'm going to do this, and then it's going to let you know when they complete it or if it's still outstanding. It's pretty cool. Over here, you guys can see all of these little guys. These are all sections that exist for this one contact. So any deals that John Smith may be affiliated with, don't look, Dana. So you can see this.
Right now spending that money right now.
Yes. So you can see any deal that he may be associated with, which is cool because maybe you just want to look at a kind of a quick view, maybe past transactions that you've closed. How many have I worked, you know, how many times have I worked with this person? It's pretty cool. Yeah. Who gets, you know, customer of the year? One of the guys that was in our class was saying that they had like a 5K club, a 10K club with their clients. So these are the people who have done, you know, 5,000 or whatever in business, and which is anyone, or, you know, just whatever those thresholds were. And that's how they would kind of do different events for their different client groups, which I thought was kind of cute too. Okay, details, right? And you can print all of this. So for people who love paper, I'm not saying any names, you can have all of this too. So it's a nice, detailed, very consistent look of what your contacts look like. So if you're somebody who has a big binder with all your people, this would be what you would print. Phone numbers. This little star indicates a primary. Is he making fun of you?
Probably.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
Okay, he wants to be me, that's okay.
You can make fun.
What is this that you speak of? This star indicates a primary anything.
Money is made on paper too.
Mhm. Primary phone number, primary email, primary address. The little star indicates that. You can change that at any time. Okay. You can link any kind of social media profile. So if you're somebody who really does a lot of your business through those social networks, you can link them up. That way you know that this person is associated with this social media, especially if it's a really common name. Their birthday, that's a big deal. A lot of you guys are doing birthday videos, birthday postcards, little letters. You can put that there. Custom fields, totally up to you. You can have whatever little field that you want that'll help keep you organized. Statuses, this is going to speak to kind of where they are in the process based on how much they've interacted with you through the app or online. So if they're on your agent website and they're wanting to see this property and they're clicking on this and they're sharing this, that's going to make that get higher and higher and higher. That way you know, hey, I need to call this person, or you should have already called that person. Household, here's what I was talking about. So I can click here to create a household. Again, blue means new. Here's where I can split a household if I need to. And here's where I can add a member. So I would just click on add a member. You can drop down, you can start searching. I don't know the other contacts. Maybe, was it Sydney? Maybe? There you go. So if you know their first name, it's going to pull down everybody that's in your contact list with that name. You would just drop it down and add. It may not let me because it's the same contact, but there you go.
So when you split the household, does it take Mary Smith and make her a new contact in the fall?
She'll be her own contact again.
Right, but it'll be in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you won't ever
That's what I
lose
was
it.
asking.
Yeah, you won't lose the
So when
contact.
you split it because they got divorced, and it adds it to the contact.
Yeah.
in the first.
Yeah, and odds are, I mean, you may already have them in here as individuals. Everybody does this differently. Because maybe you've got one who is the one who makes all the decisions, and then you just have somebody who's either not really involved as much as the other one, and there you go. You have the option to make them into a household if you wanted or not. Again, you'll see what deals they were associated with. And then over here, listings, that's coming, but you'll see whatever listings are associated with that contact. So if that's your seller and you want to know what property they're associated with, you should know that, but it'll be here as well. Any notes, any history, take a look at that. You'll see a running log of every change you've ever made. or anything that you may have updated. So this is good too, because you can see like when maybe make a note on, you know, is retiring in June of next year. You'll have all of that here. Again, this is just the beta version. Some of this may already be live. I have not checked. And then here's the inbox. You guys know that when you're in Mac Center, this is one thing that I probably should have mentioned earlier. Your remax.net email address is not tied to an inbox. So in other words, you can't receive emails at your remax.net. Okay, what that does, it sets as a forwarding email. So if someone emails Kristen Windsor at remax.net, it's going to send it straight to my Gmail because that's the email that I've set it to send to. Are y'all aware of that? Okay, good. So a lot of people in our training class were like, no. They did it once when they first onboarded and they've never had to change it. So it wasn't anything they were thinking about. So how you know if this is done already, you're getting Remax communications. You're getting your Design Center automated materials. You're getting all the updates. You're good to go. If you're not getting those things, you may have a little bit of a hiccup that we can fix really simply. Okay. Going back to contacts and leads, these columns, you can also move them or remove them. So if you're somebody who wants to see all your tags on the far left-hand side, I can move them, which I think is really cool. So right here, edit columns, right there. I'm gonna click that. And I can move them up higher or to the left, basically, or I can get rid of them at all, or I can add all of these to see all the things about whatever contact I'm looking for. Some people like a really condensed view. Some people like to see all of it. So you can choose. So if you don't want to see deals, you don't have to see deals. If you just want to see basic info, first name, last name, email, phone number, you can do that too. And this can be changed at any time. Okay. Filters. Everyone loves filters. Filters, you can click on that. Again, you can see anything you'd like to see. Me personally, I'm a tag person. I would just search by tag because that's what I'm looking for in my mind anyway. If I've tagged somebody that way, then that's how I'm going to try to search them. Okay. You can also, so say that you get your columns just the way that you like them. You can save that view. So that way when you log back into booj a second time, it's already set up that way for you. Similar to how Paragon works when you customize those fields, it's the same thing. You can also choose to see how many contacts. Maybe you just want to see 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever. You can choose. And then here's a good example of those tags. Right over here on this side of the screen. These are the actions. So if you want to send an email or a text straight from here, you can. And we're going to talk about what that looks like. Do I use my own cell phone number? Do I get my like a custom number, like a phantom number? Yes, you'll have a phantom number if you choose. That will have a 409 area code. Some people like to do that because they don't want their personal cell phone out there, but to me, I just think it makes it super complicated. Yeah. Again, up to you though. Right here, last thing I'm going to show you guys, this little wheel. Again, it's blue. So what does that mean? Yay! So these are settings. So again, you guys can choose how you want to be notified. What do you want to see when you log into this? How do you want the names to appear? Do you want them to be first name, last name, alphabetical order? You know, what do you want? You get to really customize that. Notifications right here. You can have the app to push that notification out, similar to like whenever you get a Facebook notification or anything else on your phone, it'll pop up. Or you can get an email. Text message down here when a lead is offered to you. That's a current feature within Lead Street. You can associate your cell phone with it and it's going to say, hey, you've received a new lead from homes.com or Reliance or whatever, wherever they come from, however you're set up. And again, if you're somebody who doesn't want to have all that, then you don't have to. You can just uncheck the box and you're good to go. Tags, here's where the tags live. Bless you. So these are the default ones that were kind of already in here, like web, pre-approved. You can get rid of all of these. If you wanted to just start fresh, you could. I added some of these. You can choose the color, which is fun. So Bridge City, I did red, of course, you know, because that's their school colors, but you can make them any color you want. So if you're visual and that helps you to color code, then that's a really cool feature that you can utilize as well. If I wanted to add a tag, where do you think I would go? Add a tag. So it's very simple. I would just click on that box. I'm going to say, okay, so Mont Bellevue. and say that I want them to be lime. Click that, add a tag, and we're done. And it's right there. I'm pointing at my monitor like y'all can see me pointing. It's right here. If I am not into that, then what I can do is click here. I want to change the color. If I want to do anything, I'll just update the color, save the tag. Here, I can delete it. Just check in the box. I can get rid of it if I don't need that tag anymore. So you guys can see it's very, very easy to navigate. Custom fields, we'll talk about that a little bit. You can create a custom field, again, by clicking on the big blue button. And this can be anything you want it to be. Anything. It works similarly to a tag. My advice is to start with the tags first. And if you find that you need even deeper organization, then you can create a custom field. I think you're going to be fine with the tags though, because they're unlimited. Okay. Any questions on what we've seen in here so far?
Off the top of your head, do you know if closing date is the current tag?
I did not see it, but I have not been in the live version. So that could be, I'm just not sure.
Just from that template, I was trying to recall too.
Like on the import? No. I don't remember. I don't recall seeing it.
What about the closed, like a seller or buyer in the year?
I think that could be a tag that you create. Like, and everybody's going to do this differently, but like if you know that you've got somebody who's an investor, I would absolutely make that a tag, investor. Or if you've got somebody who you know has done a lot of repeat business with you, I would like repeat, you know, or whatever you know them as. Whatever term comes to mind when you think of that person should be good. That's what your tag should be. Because again, this is all about what makes the most sense to you. And another question that somebody had asked too is, does the team have one login, or does, you know, how does that work? Every individual has their own. So if they have remax.net, then they have all of this too. But with the tasks that I mentioned earlier that we'll show you guys more and more throughout the week, you can assign them to team members. So say that you need your team member to handle this and go show this, you could assign that task to them. Or if you've got your own process or system in place as a team that you guys follow, anytime that you get a new buyer, then you could add that in here too and assign different components to different people.
I'm not on a team, so this really doesn't bother me. But so do they get their own website, or would you route theirs to the team website? You know what I mean?
That will be up to the team leader. So within Max Center in our roster, we have to indicate if somebody is on a team, because you guys know that the way that teams are structured within Remax, the team leader is the one who's held responsible, but then they're also the one who is the most visible in terms of production. So like a team member really doesn't get a lot of that kind of recognition, which is sad. I hate that role, but I like it at the same time. I'm so conflicted and torn. But because of a team, the team leader has the say. So if you're on a team and you're on the roster as on a team, you're gonna show up on that team website. That's just kind of how it works.
On this website?
Teams will have their own website
On your website.
within here. Individuals have their own website. She's asking if they're on a team, do they have their own website? I think they're sucked into the team because they're on a team and we recognize them as a team. As individuals.
Like all y'all have different stuff, it seems like it would be more understanding.
I don't think they do. I think that they're going to show. So like the hierarchy is the office site, and then it's going to show teams. You'll click on a team, and it's going to say, here are the people on this team. However, they should have, but I'm glad you said that, because they should have their own, because it's going to go back up to the team though, because there's that hierarchy. So it goes office, team, individual, team, office. That way there's a clear pathway on how those dots are connected.
So if you do agent search though,
it should pull the team. It should pull the team. So if they search Melanie Dishman, it should show Melanie Dishman as part of Mark McDonald team. And when they click on, yes. And so when they click on her, it's going to show like, here are our listings. So it's going to clearly indicate that she's a part of a team. Yes. Yes. I'm glad y'all said that, because there is, the way they explained it to us, it has to work both ways, down and up. That way there's no confusion on behalf of the consumer on who is like, I don't understand what this means. And it's cute because there's little subtle details that change with the website. So like, here's about us, where it's not just individual anymore, which is pretty cool. So it's very, very clear.
But your team member cannot get into, because you each individually have your own Remax centers.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's not all interfaced together.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Are they looking into, I mean, I would think that would be a piece of hierarchy of that to be able to have your team.
Are you talking about like on the transactions, like the deal manager
Just like,
portion?
you know, in contacts and just the whole.
I think if they give you access, you can see. But it's a good question. I mean, I'm not sure. Again, I need to get into the live version and see.
I guess my question is like if Tommy's gonna have his own Remax, and then Lynn, you want them to interface together.
Not everybody would though, because Tommy's going to have his own contacts, just like Lynn has her own contacts, and you wouldn't want those to be muddied.
Really?
You know? So I think that's another benefit too of having your own dashboard, because the way that Melanie's contacts may not be yours.
And then they can just delete it off.
Yep. Okay. Find duplicates. This is helpful as well. So you can do that within booj, but also if you guys are cleaning up your contacts ahead of time, you won't have to do that as much in terms of the import. So
Once you're in there, just do it then.
you can do that, which is good because sometimes maybe you did a deal 15 years ago with someone and you think, oh, I have a new person, or I don't have them in my list, and you add them in. You can search that duplicate and it'll take it out for you if you want to. So that's a lot. Y'all are troopers for hanging out with me this whole time. This afternoon at 2 o'clock, what we're going to do, there's a sample file. It's a CSV file that we are going to go through all the motions of how to import a file into booj, into the contacts. It's like 6 steps, so it's not super crazy. And the contacts are already in the template, so you don't even have to do that. It's just like, it's these that you see here. We're going to do that this afternoon at 2 o'clock. It should only take about an hour because there's just 6 of them. And then we'll kind of play and add tags and remove tags.
So what if we have hundreds? Is it like going to take days?
No, I say an hour only because say that, like, okay, another thing. None of you guys are using Internet Explorer, correct? Please don't. If you do, just lie and say that you don't. booj will not work with Internet Explorer. They like Chrome. I have had no issues with Safari. That's what I'm using here. Firefox is another one that tends to be a good one. So anything other, so they didn't say anything about Edge, which is kind of like the new thing with Windows products, but just, I would steer clear. If you can download Chrome, which is free, you should download Chrome. That's what this system works off of the best. Okay? Okay. Thank you. So y'all are the bomb. If y'all have questions, please let me know. Yes, ma'am. Yes. So when they updated Max Center back in May, they had I got 2 or 3 now. I've seen this before. What I'll do, I'm gonna chat with Remax and say, hey, and let them know that you're having an issue. Is everything set up correctly?
Okay, so you're going to download all your cell phone contacts for each like Google Drive. Okay. Let me see.
Where I would go right here.
Well, it's good. You need to look at your phone. Let me show you where you're.
What is this?
So if you go into your contact from all of the channels, this is where your contacts are being.
Right.
So all your contacts are already being stored on Gmail. So go into Gmail. Let me go there. Go to Gmail from your they're already there. You can pull up
Okay, so they're here, but they're not showing. I'm gonna do that right now. Yeah. Yeah.
He is 13 and might have him when I'm married, but he is the sweetest guy. I'm getting sad because no, he won't.
Make this afternoon?
And you know, he holds out.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Chrissy, can we get t-shirts when you get food? Me and Carrie never got ours.
Yeah,
Like, we're gonna get
of course.
So do I click all this?
I wouldn't, not until.
Okay. So don't click any of this and then go next. But I did, okay, so then, do I do any of this?
You can. This is just setting up like how you want to get your notifications with calendar events. If you guys are going to be using this for your calendars, and then how you want to receive information or notifications for your contacts, your leads.
Okay, so click all this.
Yeah, and then all that is easily changed.
Okay, and so then